When I was young, the only visible transgender woman in New Zealand was Georgina Beyer, and she was a hero to me and the only real person that I could look up to as a young trans person. And now I get to enjoy being an adult in New Zealand and know that the path was cleared for me by someone who was really powerful and inspirational.
I have often been credited with having been a trailblazer, and I will accept that as being true, because as the first out transsexual to serve in a parliament, I had no mentors. I had to navigate my way myself through the mire of political life, I guess. Yes, I had the support of colleagues and a supportive caucus, and that we were serving in government was a huge advantage. I guess I acquitted myself very well when we had what has now come to be known as the Enough is Enough March, led by the Destiny Church, when the 8,000 arrived at Parliament to protest against civil unions. It was a dark day, I feel. I stood on those steps for the 2 or 3 hours that they held their rally in front of Parliament, holding the rainbow flag, joined by other members of Parliament, Sue Bradford, Sue Kedgley, Tim Barnett, Chris Carter, various others came out to support me as I stared them down from the steps of Parliament. At one point, I just lost it. We had 150, approximately, of our supporters who were pro the Civil Union Bill, and they had been surrounded by the 8,000 Destiny Church people. And they were abused, they were jostled, they were shoved, and I could see all of this happening from the steps. At that point, I was so angry, I suppose, I marched across the forecourt of Parliament, yelling out loudly, "Why do you hate us so much? What is this? What is this that you're teaching your children, this hatred towards us? It's not right," and words to that effect. I was yelling, which I seemed like a screaming banshee, because they had a sound system the Rolling Stones would have been proud of. So I was trying to shout over that so that they might hear me. That ended up on the news that night, and many of our rainbow people around the country went to hallelujah. Our voices there to stare down this great adversity we were facing from these people. One of the proudest moments in my parliamentary life, I have to say. Sorry for getting a bit emotional about it, but it was significant. And of course, civil unions came to pass, and then was followed, less than 10 years later, by Lewis Wall's presentation of marriage equality to the country. And considering the venal debate that happened over civil unions throughout the country, marriage equality managed to slip through, pretty well supported from within the Parliament, and more importantly, from a majority of New Zealanders. You see, with patience and perseverance, the country, by and large, will come on board because they can see all we want is equality. We are of no harm to anyone else. We just want to enrich our own lives with equality. And it has been for the better of New Zealand that we have been able to make positive contributions to our country and to live lives that are far more liberated than when I was young. Well done, New Zealand.
It was my pleasure to, as a backbench MP, propose a marriage equality legislation here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. One of the first things we did was establish a cross-party working group, and this gives me an opportunity to acknowledge Kevin Haig, a very active member of our LGBT community, and also Tau Henare. And so I really want to acknowledge all of Parliament who came together at that time with external allies. We also had others, those based in Wellington, in Hamilton and Auckland, throughout the country, who established marriage equality committees in each of those cities. And then we had towns who were actively engaged. It was a very special time, so extending that right to all New Zealanders, consenting adults who want to engage in the marriage process, I think for us has been a beautiful thing.
I think in New Zealand we're really privileged and really lucky that we have had legislation pass and kind of our community has got the rights that we do have today and we're in the place that we are. We've made some really awesome steps towards that through some of the legislation that's passed.
10 years ago, some of our young people didn't even know that they could survive to the age they're at today. And now with a room like the Rainbow Room saying to them that you can become a member of parliament, it helps to support their goals and aspirations and let them know that this is a society that appreciates and recognises them.
It seemed quite appropriate, given the proud history we have in this country over rainbow issues, that we should have a rainbow room, representation for our community in a solid bricks and mortar sense here at Parliament. And here it is.